Hi, I'm Farley Nobre. I am the first author of The Promise of Fuzzy Set Theory for Entrepreneurial Judgment with professors Mark Bachat and Brent Clark. The Promise of Fuzzy Set Theory for Entrepreneurial Judgment contributes for the field of entrepreneurship and judgment as much as it provides micro foundations of entrepreneurial cognition, explaining how entrepreneurs navigate uncertainty using linguistic variables, especially in situations where we don't have the probabilities. We cannot quantify and measure using probabilities. So you use natural language heuristics to address imprecision and uncertainty. Then I invite you to read The Promise of Fuzzy Set Theory for Entrepreneurial Judgment, because this article explains how entrepreneurs navigate uncertainty based on micro foundations of entrepreneurial cognition and perceptual symbol systems, where entrepreneurs shape imprecise perceptions, and communicate them using linguistic variables, especially in situations where we cannot quantify probabilities. We just navigate with natural language to communicate our decisions to other entrepreneurs, investors, and many other stakeholders. So you are invited to read our paper. What is a fuzzy set? A fuzzy set is just implementing gradations in unsharp classes. Like, for example, inflation is high. High can be represented gradually by a fuzzy set, and inflation is a linguistic variable assuming linguistic values, which is grounded in fuzzy sets. The theory of fuzzy sets is completely different from probability theory. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different, because the classes, the categories in fuzzy sets, they have unsharp boundaries like human perceptions. Instead, in probability, the events and the classes and the categories, they are sharp, they're black and white. So we have different theories, but they can even work together. And why fuzzy set theory and fuzzies is so important for the field of human decision making and so forth? Because human perception is imprecise. Perceptions, they don't have sharp boundaries. Perceptions, they have gradations. So this imprecision of perceptions in the human brain is passed through natural language. This is why entrepreneurs, they communicate using linguistic variables and natural language, which is grounded in fuzzy sets theory. This communicates better for investors, for stakeholders, when we don't have precise numbers, when you don't have probabilities on your hands. So you use fuzzy set theory. The micro foundations of the entrepreneurial mind is grounded on the fact that perceptions, they are imprecise, they have gradations. So what we observe about the real world is very imprecise. So it's better represented by gradations, by fuzzy sets, and better expressed in natural language and addressed with natural language heuristics that communicates difficult decisions, complex decisions, ambiguity, uncertainty, and so forth. Another important point of the entrepreneur mind is the fact that we use perceptual symbol systems to combine many of the percepts that you have. So it sparks imagination and associative thinking grounded in perceptual symbol systems. So that's how the entrepreneur mind works. Let's consider, for example, the communication of many of the CEOs of large corporations. They communicate using linguistic variables and natural language heuristics to shape imprecision and persuade others' minds to take the actions and goals. This is why natural language heuristics, it's very important for the entrepreneurship theory and praxis. So, and all of it is grounded in imprecise perceptions and fuzzy set theory, especially when we don't have ways to quantify probabilities. That is why fuzzy set theory entered. So what are the implications of our perspective for artificial intelligence, for example? Well, we know that artificial intelligence is very grounded in big data and probability and statistical analysis. So there are many problems and uncertainty that are much better communicated using common sense reasoning, approximate reasoning, natural language. So in these situations, artificial intelligence can find a big limitation to address reasoning, understanding, and making sense of many of the uncertainty situations. And as a future research avenue, our paper address judgment concerns about how entrepreneurs judge, but we also open many questions for effectuation entrepreneurship in other approaches such as entrepreneurs as scientists. So this paper brings lots of avenue to explore the other branch of entrepreneurship. In 2012, I went to the University of Berkeley and I interviewed Professor Lofizadeh. We had a discussion about fuzzy logic and bounded rationality, how these theories connect to each other and how they help each other. So that was very useful to develop the idea to bring fuzzy set theory to entrepreneurship and management. And we had a conversation about fuzzy logic and bounded rationality. We found many commonalities between those theories. And later on, I approached to Mark Packard and Brent Clark to write a paper about fuzzy set theory and entrepreneurship. Then we found judgment very applicable for this new perspective. So this is a long time planning paper. Now we have completed this publication. So thank you for the editors of Entrepreneurship Theory and Praxis, especially to Professor Richard Hand. So thank you so much. That is a great achievement. Thank you.